Welcome back to Worley Family Homestead. Today we're going to be out trying to get the back pasture sowed with rye for the winter so we can have the cows graze on over the winter. So I went out earlier this morning. I went ahead and bush hogged whatever millet was left out there, kind of got it cut close to the ground. So the next thing I need to do, get the old tractor and disc hooked up, and what I need to do is go back and realign the blades on my disc. I want it to be a little more aggressive so they'll dig in the dirt a little deeper. That field hadn't been plowed since the last time I sowed the millet for the last time, so it's a little bit hard in certain places. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the disc where the blades are as aggressive as they can be, and I'll show you how we're gonna set that up on the tractor. Okay, adjusting the disc blades. What I want to do is these blades are pretty much straight in line with the tractor right now. They're gonna cut a little bit, but not gonna cut as enough as I want to. I want to set these blades to be a little more aggressive into the ground. This ground hadn't been disted since the last time that I planted the millet, and it needs to be disted in pretty good so I can get all that cut up, and when I go back and sow the rye seeds, that they'll go in the ground a little bit better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to show you on my disc how we do it. Got loosened a few bolts. We're gonna push this whole thing forward, get these blades to turn, be more aggressive, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. Okay, there you have it. I've got my blades set at an aggressive angle, so now when I go there and disted the pasture, it should disted it really good. I'm probably going to go over it 2 or 3 times just to make sure it is disted in really good. Then once I get ready to sow the seed, I'll come back. I'll adjust these blades back out to run more straight with the tractor, because what I want to do is once I sow the seed, I want to go back out with a disc and lightly disc this new seed into the ground. That way the birds won't eat it, rain won't wash it away. Also, something I didn't tell you a while ago, I thought about it when I was doing it. I got steel toe boots on about every day anyway, but that still don't matter. When you're working on something like this, these disc blades are kind of heavy. Make sure that your feet are not under the disc. If you back these bolts out too far and this actual assembly of blades comes off this disc, it's going to drop to the floor. If your foot or toe is in between the floor and that blade when it drops, you may lose a toe. So just be mindful of that. Okay, now we got the sower hopper filled up with seed. This is just a pasture blend. That's what this is from our local feed mill. So it's good for pasture grass, rye, and it's going to be good throughout the whole winter. And it should be something that they can graze on and not have to feed as much hay this winter. So we'll get everything hooked up, and let's go ahead now and see if we can't get it sowed in the pasture. Okay, now that we got the seeds spread like we need to in the pasture, next time we need to go back and just lightly dist over them a little bit to get them to kind of go in the ground just a little teeny bit. That way all the birds can't eat all the seeds because they're gonna be out there pretty bad. But as you can see, I've got the disc reset. Got it set back out to where the blades are a little more straight with the tractor. Not as aggressive as they were, because I really don't want to disc the seeds into the ground. Just want to lightly dist over them to get them just a little ways in the ground, not too deep at all. Yeah, Mo, you can be the last one in again. You better hurry up. They're getting to jump on your head start there. Come on. You better hurry up. They're happy right now, but they sure weren't happy with me the other day. They don't understand why I cut them off the other pasture. And they can't go in there and graze anymore like they have been. It was a sad sight a while back to see 4 cows and a horse standing here at this gate drawn across this old pasture. And they weren't too happy about it. But there will be in a few months. Well, a little less than that. We've got everything sown now. Everything's been disted back in. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of rain here in the next few days. Go ahead and give it a little bit of water that it needs. And hopefully in a little while I can come back here again and show a good crop of rye that's come up. And they'll be happy when that comes up because they have something to eat on all winter. So I'll update you as soon as we get a little something coming out of the ground. While we're showing you where we planted the rye at, I was going to show you too. This is the fence line we were sprayed to kill all the weeds on the fence line. It's been well over 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks since we sprayed it. And you can see it's really done a good job. I'm hoping that since the seasons are changing like they are now and it's getting a little cooler overnight, they don't have to spray anymore this year till next summer when it starts coming back. So I'm hoping that that'll take care of it. And I just kind of want to show you how good that spray mixture we use does. It really does a good job. Like I say, we don't have to spray maybe 3 times a year. I do mix it a little hotter than most people normally do, but it makes it seem better when I don't have to spray as much as I've been spraying. Another thing I want to ask y'all about, anybody got any good ideas about what to do with fire ant mounds? We got several here at the house now. Normally I spray the yard and other stuff with something to kill them all during the year. But I need something I can spray in the pasture. We've had a lot in the pasture right lately. Let me show you here. There's nothing on this mound right now. But just by running my finger through it, look at that. I don't know if y'all can see how good that is. But they have come out everywhere. And, you know, the cows in the pasture walking around grazing. Buck out there walking around grazing. If they step on one of these mounds, they're going to get eaten up with fire ants. And I've got to figure some way out to kill them without hurting Buck and the girls and Elmo. So if anybody's got any ideas what I can use to spray in the pasture to do away with the fire ants, please let me know down in the comments below. And we sure would appreciate it. Any help would be good. And like I say again, we appreciate you joining us here on the channel. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends and neighbors. We just really appreciate all the comments that are left. It really helps us out on what we're doing with the channel. And like I said, if there's anything that y'all would like to see, anything different we do here, just let us know, and we'll try to see what we can do. But again, we just thank you all for subscribing, watching the videos, and the comments that you leave. Thanks again.